Man, it's been a while since I've done this. Why? Well, work, life, the fact that I'm converting a shed into a house, but with recent events, I figured I'd bite the hook being dangled in front of me. I know I won't be talking to anyone. I've got, 6 subscribers, and I know my personal friends are at least 5 of them. If you're watching this in the future, let's explain the basics. A leak happened some time ago that showed Wizard of the Coast was working on a new OGL. OGL being why players build things and create things for, Dungeons and Dragons and all that. If you look at Pathfinder 1st Edition books, you'll see on the back 3.5 OGL. In fact, Pathfinder's leaders actually wrote the open game license. Now they're making another one. I'm not going to talk about this subject because there's 1,000 people who've already talked about it and talked about it better than I can. What I'm talking about is what this has led to. Paizo, the creators of Pathfinder, are working on a new license which multiple companies have already signed on to, or rather want to sign on to. Green Ronin, Cobalt Press, and I'm actually hoping I'll be adding myself to that list as well. My friend and I are working together to make our own TTRPG system. Note that word, systems, multiple. We've got 3 in the works, but we're focusing on 1 right now. It's nearing a stage of testing, but I don't want to leak anything else until we get to that stage. Now, we've yet to come up with a name for this company that we're using, but that's because we need to have a proof of concept before we can do anything else. My first thought was Adventure Dorks, simply because of the account my friend used to run. I still have access to it actually, which is weird, but that will simply be a placeholder for now. Name really doesn't matter at this point. What matters is the intent. We've been discussing plans to release several new tabletop RPGs with our own systems. So far, everything's pretty open, though we are trying to focus down some. We also intend on releasing supplement books. Personally, I'm writing something for Starfinder, which I'm calling Elements of Acheron, for now at least. So far, the system we're focusing on is kinda like Savage Worlds, where it's one system from multiple settings that can easily be pulled and plucked and placed. I'm hoping to add small pre-written adventures to the core book, but now we just need to finish the mechanics and then test it. We might be doing a Kickstarter to get everything started, possibly seeking to sponsor some TTRPG YouTubers, but it's still a long ways off before we can even contemplate such things. So far, we've got the basic character creation, which I think is fantastic. Very customizable. The system won't use classes, instead giving you points to spend as you level up, which we're still trying to balance a bit in that. So far, the game is mostly skill-based rather than action-based. We might be working on something in the future, I don't know. It's a lot harder to make a TTRPG than I initially thought. But my friend and I aren't giving up. Mostly because I don't know how to. Yeah. At the moment of writing the script, we're talking about how to go about races. Given the pretty open system, it'd probably be pretty simple to create a custom race. I know some of you who may see this are thinking of Yonja, the Predators from Predator, and Xenomorphs. Of course, all this will be a good long while. Everything we're working on isn't set in stone yet. We want to write it all out, then let me test some basics with my table group, maybe our online group as well, perhaps send out some PDFs to test it too. Maybe set up a website to have people fill out a questionnaire, the whole business thing that we'll inevitably need to do. Now, I admit, a business needs to keep making money in order to pay bills and hire workers who also need to pay bills. But most higher-end businesses make money off of focusing on their investors. This is always been a problem in my eyes. As investors don't put money in, they expect money back. My goal with this business is to focus on the customer, make the customer happy, and look at those investors and make zero promises. Tell them that they'll get money back for investing when the customer only is happy with the product. Some investors won't put anything in for no guarantee, but I will try to be honest with them. It's kind of just how I go. But while doing that, we're working on other projects too. Like I said, I'm working on a Starfinder book I'd like to release. Found myself getting into Pathfinder 1 and 2 and really into Starfinder. I've also been getting books in every RPG I can find that isn't based on 5e. I want to start reviewing these lesser known or entirely new RPGs, explaining the positives and negatives to each one. Essentially what I'm saying is I want to shift in my channel. I don't want to do what I was. I'm not asking permission to do so, since this is something I do in the rare occasions I get time and energy to do so. I do this crap because I enjoy editing videos and giving my shitty opinions on things. All that said, I hope to do a lot of future videos reviewing, playing, and maybe even talking about the story behind these systems and their setting. Just trying to get a Cyberpunk Red book now, but I've got a lot to go through. Maybe I'll start on Fate Core. It's a deceptively simple system that doesn't use the D20 system at all. Maybe I'll talk about Savage Worlds too? I'm working on a Time Splitters kind of game mixing various settings in that system. How about Vampire the Masquerade? Everyone loved that broken video game. Why not try the thing that spawned it? Though I've also got the One Ring I'd love to try out, though I know very little about Tolkien's setting, unfortunately, and the Tolkien Association would probably try and sue me for not having the proper opinions. They've done that before. Either way, I've got plans and possibilities going forward. I'll be adding to my list just about every time I go to my local comic book shop too. Wonder if they still have the Orc RPG. Probably not, but I'm gonna get it too. Thank you for hearing me out, all, 12 viewers? Hopefully I'll start uploading more often. Now, shove off.